When you're promoting your music on Spotify using Facebook ads, you have a myriad of options for where you actually send people. Do you send them to the song? Do you send them to an album? Do you send them to a playlist? Do you send them to your profile? And each of these different destinations actually have their own pros and cons, but one of them is my personal favorite that I recommend, but a lot of other people have been disagreeing with it. So I want to give my perspective on all of these, which one I recommend and why, so that you can make the choice for yourself. By the way, just in case you're completely new to this stuff, let me show you what I mean. So if I go inside of meta ads here and I open up a random campaign, I go over to the ad. When people see the ad, they click on the ad, but I don't send them straight to a particular streaming service because that has its own problems. I won't get into now just to save time, but they're sending them to a landing page. And so what I'm really talking about here is when people click on this Spotify button, where does it send them? So in this case, let's click cancel here. It's going to send them to the individual track link for this specific song. But this is the topic of discussion. Where are we sending people? And so if we send people to the track, what's going to happen? And it does look a little bit different in mobile than it does on desktop, so keep that in mind. But on mobile and on the application on the computer, not the web browser, it'll actually autoplay the song. And the most likely action for people to take is to click the heart button or add the song to a playlist. Especially on mobile, it brings up the now playing field. They can click the plus to save it to their library. They can click the plus again to add it to a playlist that they own in their library. But we're sending them directly to that song, so we get a concentrated amount of streams, listeners, saves, playlist ads directly on that song. Now imagine if instead we sent people to our profile page. Well, the biggest action on here is the follow button. It's the first button on the top of the page, but we're not sending them to a specific song. So the streams aren't going to be concentrated on the specific song that we're sending them to. It's some people are going to click your most popular song. Some people are going to click your most recent song. Some people are going to click your artist pick or your pinned song at the top of your profile. It doesn't show here on the mobile view, but it's there. Trust me. But so it's kind of spread apart. You're going to get more followers. You're going to get less concentrated streams, and saves and playlist ads are going to be less. Now, imagine if you were to send someone to, instead of a track link, you just send them to an album link. So let me see. We haven't, this is one of my projects. We haven't released an album yet. But inside here, there are two links. So I can click share, copy song link, but I can also click this one here and I can do share, copy album link. The album link and the song link are kind of similar. In every case, I would do the song link instead of the album link if you had to choose between the two, because the song link will autoplay the song when they go to it. The album link will not. So between those two, always do that. Now, the last option that I mentioned is to a specific playlist. What's going to happen when we send them to a This Is Every Waking Moment playlist that has all of our songs on it? Well, you're going to get the most concentration of people following this playlist. You're going to get the most amount of streams per listener, because some people might listen to your entire catalog, but you're going to get the least amount of song saves and playlist ads and followers. So the trade-off here, essentially, is that to the playlist, you're getting very few saves, very few playlist ads, very few followers. The individual song links are going to give you the most amount of saves, the most amount of playlist ads, but less streams per listener, but some followers. And the profile page is going to get you the most amount of followers. Streams are spread across your whole catalog, maybe a little bit higher stream per listener, but lower saves and playlist ads. So what does this mean? What should you choose? Well, for a couple of years, I've been saying that the best option is to send people directly to the individual song, because in terms of long-term tail, after you stop an ad campaign, the saves and playlist ads lead to the longest growth or the longest tail of a song after your campaign is off. But also it leads to more like recurring listens long time, which can also help the algorithm. So not only is the high engagement rate helping you out algorithmically, but the long tail and the repeat listening and the adding to playlists and saving to the library is also helping out the algorithm in terms of them figuring out who's engaging with this song. Because if almost no one's saving it or adding to a playlist, Spotify is like, okay, well, people don't want to listen to this song in the future, so it must not be that great. But if you're sending them here, that intent rate or the engagement rate is significantly higher. But a lot of people have disputed me on this for one particular reason. If someone is on the free plan of Spotify and they're on a mobile device, they can't listen to any song they want. So if someone's on a free plan on their phone, they click your ad, it's going to take them to your artist radio, and it's going to start shuffling that. So if I click these three dots and do go to artist radio, you can see that it has my band's music but it also has other stuff that it has figured out algorithmically is similar. And so they might not hear that specific song, and they might not hear you right away either. So that's a big deal, right? And so a lot of people kind of panicked when they heard that, because they like, okay, well, I'll send them here, because free users can shuffle a playlist on mobile. So sending them here guarantees that they stream your music first, and they can basically listen to all of your music without listening to someone else's music. However, I still have not ever recommended doing this. And the reason is, it really doesn't matter. Like, you would expect that if that problem was huge, that sending them directly to the song would cause a massive drop off from your conversions and Facebook ads to the results that you're seeing on Spotify. But the reality is it doesn't. And sending them to the song gives you the best chance at triggering algorithmic playlists. So why is this? Well, what I did is I found out that in the royalty statements from the Orchard, which is a music distributor essentially by Sony, they give you access to what percentage of people, or actually every single stream from free or premium users, is categorized separately. So what I did is I calculated for several countries, and this is my infographic. I haven't posted it online yet, but you're getting this information early. I figured out what percentage of users in each country, at least for Q3 2023, for this specific list of artists that I had in the Orchard, what percentage of streams were coming from premium versus free users. And I also calculated more information that will be coming out in the near future, but this is the percentage of premium streams by country. So for Canada, 84, I think I actually flipped these. I think Canada is actually 86 and the US is 84, but I just forgot to flip them. But either way, they're both 84 and 86% for Canada and the US, right? Yeah, 84 USA, 86 Canada. So that's a vast majority. But even in Mexico and Brazil, which tend to really dominate these ad campaigns if you include them because they're so much cheaper to advertise to, 73% of Mexicans pay for Spotify Premium. So it's not an issue in Mexico, really. 66% of Brazilians, like 2/3 of them pay for premium. So most of them have premium. In the UK, same thing, 63%. Now, this is where another finding of mine comes into play. And I haven't added the Philippines to this yet, but India is 22%, Philippines was 24%. And I've noticed over time that whenever someone told me like, oh yeah, Philippines does really good for me, or India is my best market, I really need to advertise there, I found that sending them to a playlist in those situations drastically increased the chances of that campaign working in India and the Philippines and other kind of risky countries. And this kind of proves why. Because in all of these other countries, the adoption of Spotify Premium is pretty great, right? But in India and the Philippines, it's almost nothing. So in those countries, the whole free account thing starts to become incredibly important. But when you're doing a tier 1, tier 2 country thing, it really doesn't matter at all, it seems, right? Because otherwise, like if it mattered, my campaigns wouldn't work, right? But the fact is they do. So this kind of proves why. But this also proves why in those riskier countries, the playlist approach actually can kind of make it possible for those campaigns to work at all. Now, I also pulled another data point here. Globally, at least again for this Q3 2023 from these artists in the Orchard, globally it was 77% of streams came from premium and only 23% came from free users. And the other thing I found out is that premium streams pay 2.2 times higher than ad-supported streams or free streams. So the other kind of thing about optimizing your campaigns for the song, additionally, it helps it out algorithmically. You get more saves, you get more playlist ads, but you're also really optimizing it for premium Spotify users. And those pay 2.2% higher anyways, right? So why are we going to focus our entire campaign around this 23% of people that pay 2.2 times lower than the premium users, right? The amount of people matters a ton. So depending on the countries you target, maybe you'll decide to do the playlist method. But if you're doing what I call tier 1, tier 2, it seems to be a no-brainer based on this to include, to go straight to the song. And you're also going to get paid more if they're premium users. Now, if you want to learn how to run campaigns like this, you can check out this video right here. I walk you through the entire process from start to finish. But if you prefer an organized course with access to my country list and a community where you can ask questions, you can check out my course, Spotify Growth Machine, right here as well. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.